technology.
You're disgusting. Oh my god.
I'm actually recording.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Overthinking. I am your host Jessica Frausto, and today I have two very special guests. I have my co-workers, friends, I guess I was gonna say family, but yeah.
Yes, family. Yes.
Gabriel and Hazel.
What is up, everybody?
How are you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good.
I'm in a great mood.
You are. I know. Gabriel had been like blowing up my phone and Hazel's that he wanted to record. We were supposed to record on Friday. No, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Right. But we couldn't, and you were pretty upset about that.
I was like, I just got this fresh haircut, and men who are seeing this, y'all know how it goes. You get a freshie, you got all these errands to run, and I was like, I'm gonna be on camera. Like, it needs to. Ahorita mismo.
No, but I remember that you used to say that you wanted to record an episode to get potential, girlfriends? You're like, I want to look fresh. I want to look good. I'm going to cook.
There's no reason why I should get, on video not looking like half decent. So,
yeah.
if whatever. So, hit my line.
So I'm going to tell you guys how I know Gabriel and Hazel. We've worked together. And honestly, it's like, I know it's going to sound kind of like cliche, but you don't really get to work at places where you get close with your coworkers. And honestly, I don't know if it's the age, because we're close to the same age. I don't know what it is, but we got along pretty well. I know Gabriel from high school.
Actually, I was like, we went to high school.
We went to high school together. I think we even went to middle school together.
Well, just 8th grade, because I went to a different one.
A ghetto one.
No, it was nicer.
Okay. And I met Hazel through work, so we became really close. Gabriel actually came up with the name of Overthinking for this podcast, which was pretty helpful because I am a fucking overthinker.
Yeah, because she was always like saying that she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what she wanted to do. And I would just tell her, like, you got to find something that you want to do. And you're kind of being the chismes, so maybe start a podcast or start a blog, something.
And get paid for being a chismosa.
Right, exactly.
Well, technically, we were getting paid at work for being chismosas.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have our
technically.
So yeah.
Es que no le gusta el chisme.
And then it was like one day, like, I just got sick of it because it was just like, oh, she's so annoying. Because she was like always like, oh, but what if they don't do this? Like, what if I don't get enough views? And I'm like, just start posting. Like, eventually it'll pick up if you're interesting enough. Like, it'll pick up, or you just need to start posting for people to find you, right? Because it's always like consistency,
right?
Like your numbers are never gonna come up if you never post anything. So then one day I got sick of it. I went to her thing because she was trying to figure out like different names, and it was kind of annoying the fuck out of me. So I got up and I walked to her desk and I was like, okay, look, this is what I have. You're overthinking this shit. So here's Overthinking is your podcast name. It's in a circle. And you could put with Jess or without it, whatever. I don't care. Yeah. This is it. And then you were like, and it clicked.
Yeah, it clicked.
But it was Overthinking first, but it was already taken. And I remember you just did the apostrophe, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause she from the Clark, so
Shut up. That was actually your idea. You were like, do it without the G, and I like that.
You can take the girl out the Clark, but you can't take the Clark out the girl. So.
Dang. Grew up in the hood, so can't say much about that.
Hazel did too. She grew up in the slums of El Salvador, so that's even.
Yeah, I did.
Before our president.
Before Bukele.
Everyone know he thinks he's half Salvadorian.
Yeah.
With one trip that he made to El Salvador.
He's only been out of the country as an adult once, and he swears he's Salvadorian now. He came back from El Salvador with a strange accent. Now, okay, can you just like...
No, because
come on, do it, just do it. Like, he'll have like random outbursts, like no jodas. It's like he's about to go to Mexico City. He's gonna come back talking like, no mames, güey. It's like, I don't know. Have y'all seen the Elvis movie? What's the actor's name?
Austin, right? Yeah.
It's like y'all heard the chisme with him. Like ever since he did the Elvis movie, he's had the Elvis accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just like recently made news again that the Elvis accent is finally gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know
I think
that.
like Gabriel's having like
Yeah.
some sort of like,
Identity crisis?
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm having an
There
identity
you
crisis.
go. Identity crisis. But they do say that if you're like with people like for a long time, it's like couples end up looking
The same.
alike.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. We would
Yeah.
always scroll through like a lot
Yeah.
of photos of couples and it looked like siblings. That's kind of weird. I hope I don't look like Cece.
You know what? Y'all kind of do look alike. I swear, y'all look like brother and sister.
That's creepy. Don't say that
Oh,
out loud.
creepy. De por sí que I don't like intimacy. Right?
She just cringed. She hates that word. They both hate that word.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine now it's like, how am I gonna supposed to look at him con amor? Like if we look like siblings.
Con amor de.
But
de
y'all look
siblings.
like y'all both have. No, it's like y'all both have like similar features. Like I feel like y'all have the same hair. Like
We're both prietos.
prietos and aprietos. Y'all have like very similar features.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
well,
mean,
well-
I think it happens a lot. Like Gypsy Rose looks like her man.
She yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, like, just whoever's watching this, like, just look at yourself, look at your partner. You guys look alike. You guys
true,
look
though.
alike.
It is
Yeah.
true.
And if y'all don't, y'all aren't soulmates. I heard that if y'all look alike, you guys are soulmates, supposedly.
I don't know. That's.
Don't look at me. I've
I'm
never
trying
been.
to-
I
I'm
haven't
trying
been
to
in a
picture
relationship for like 8
Gabriel and,
years.
But you know what I've also heard? I've heard that like men tend to look for women that resemble their mother.
Well, that's anybody though.
So do you kind of look like your suegra?
That's Alexa.
Damn,
Just a
trifling
reminder
there.
of-
Metiche.
No, but
No,
you
I
know,
don't look like my sugar to answer your question.
no. It's
Yeah.
not look like, but it's also like if you act that way too.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be like more of like mother issues, like whoever has like mommy issues and daddy issues? Like,
Gabriel
that's kinda
Tavlan.
like, we can talk about that.
I like nice women. So
Would you consider yourself, first of all, that's the question, would you consider yourself having mommy issues? Or,
yes,
Yeah.
I have mommy and daddy issues.
Yeah.
Like I know because I'm in therapy now. So
Right.
I've been in therapy all year.
Hey.
So that's another green flag for the women that are watching. but yeah, like you know, I already knew that before therapy.
Yeah.
You know, like I knew I had those issues because there are certain things that I can't get past. Like there's certain way that y'all talk about y'all's mom, and I don't feel the same way. So
You can't relate.
yeah, or like this one over here with her dad, like the way she talks about her dad, like I don't know. So yeah, I have both issues.
And it's okay. I guess like it makes you a better parent, right? With Matthew.
Yeah, I try to basically the way that I parent, the way that I think about is like how would I have wanted a dad to be, right?
Right.
Like what can I do that he didn't do that's going to improve his life, right? Like like if I had a dad that told, like I was laying down with him the other day and I hugged him and I told him I loved him and I was like, what would you do if I never told you I loved you? And he was like, I would be sad. He said I would feel so sad. And I was like, damn. Like in my mind I was like, I never heard that from my own dad.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like I just sometimes I think about like how my life would turn out if I did hear that or I did feel that. Cuz like like when I was watching the last podcast you had with your mom, it was like, you know, Erica brought up a good point
Right.
where it was like, why don't you tell us you love us? And I don't mean to say this in this way, but when your mom said like, well, I do love you, but there's certain things that don't need to be said. Like, yes, they do need to be said, because when I was in a relationship,
Right.
I was manipulated technically that way with her saying like, oh, well, like, why do I need to say it? I don't need to say it if we already know, like we have a mutual understanding, but
Right.
it's because she just didn't want to say it, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I just try to be, you know, something I never had. You can either be like your parent, or you can be the opposite. Right. You can
Right.
change.
That makes
So-
sense. Yeah, because I know you're pretty involved. Like I know you like have him in baseball class and soccer now. So or whatever it's called, baseball. Like, I'm not a sports person, obviously.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Yeah, I try to be there.
But yeah, that's
there.
pretty
You
good.
are a good dad, though.
You're trying to
Yeah.
raise them the way you weren't raised.
Yeah, pretty much. And the good thing is, like, like on the other end, like she's like his mom has been like really good.
Good.
So like I really appreciate that we can come together and just kind of like be like, okay, like we're gonna set the ground rules. Like like right now, like we made up the rule, like absolutely no screen time, no iPad, no phone
That's so good.
during the week
Okay.
when he has school, because we noticed that when he was having behavior issues, his grades weren't good, and when we took it away, he has all A's, his behavior issues are gone. So it's like it works because
Right.
she's enforcing it when she's with him, and I enforce it when I'm with him. And he wants to read a lot. He's a fucking nerd now.
Yeah.
So he likes to
That's
read.
good.
It's good because it takes two, because it's like it would have
Yeah.
been hard if
Yeah.
she was the other way or if you were the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nowadays, a lot of parents just kind of, like my mom said, try to find like the easy way out in a way, not to like struggle with the kids. I don't have kids myself, but kind of just give them like the tablet to, like.
Yeah.
You do have kids, buddy and dude.
Oh, I do have kids.
Oh my God, I can't believe.
No, they're pets.
Yeah, a lot
They're
of people get
pets.
mad.
They're pets. They're not kids.
She's
They're-
a dog
Technically,
mama.
They're kids though.
They're like lifelong kids. I feel like
Oh, yeah.
sometimes. Like they're always gonna. They have like this certain like unawareness to
Yeah.
them that they just like love to, like they're happy, they're problem free, so they always get to be in that kid mind state.
You just
Right.
can claim it on your 2024 taxes.
I
you
know.
know.
I
Man.
heard.
good though.
It's
Yeah,
coming
they got to
soon,
be
though,
hired
I
by a
heard.
company. They're support dogs.
But you're a mom too, right, Hazel?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am a mom of 2 kids. I have a 13 and 8-year-old.
Wow, you look very young for having 2 kids.
So que dicen.
Yeah. Does that? I mean, I'm sure you get that a lot. That you look very young to have a 13-year-old.
I was very young when I had my daughter. I was 15. I know it's like
Yeah.
a lot of people get freaked out. Like, what were you doing at 15? You
She
know
was
what I
out
mean?
here. Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
We're
hold
gonna
on.
continue?
Yeah.
So we brought this along. It's our douchebag jar. So,
Yeah.
and I brought some roll of quarters. So that kind of sounded like a jar.
So every time someone says something, I don't know, something nasty, dirty, sexual. Well, not
It was just
sexual.
like-
just
it was like
cringe.
cringe.
Anything cringe. It goes in there.
It
Yeah.
goes in the jar. But yeah.
But
So you was out here fucking.
No, I mean, I think we've all had our like slut days. you know,
At 15.
everybody goes through the whore phase. But
Right.
honestly, like I guess, like now that I'm thinking back and like, trying to find like the root of just everything that happened, I think it was like I said, I grew up with both my parents, but I can just the reason why I started doing the things that I did was because they were very strict. Like it was like, it got to a point where I would go like to school with like a sweater on because I felt like everything I did, it would just kind of like get me in trouble. We just got deep here, but
Yeah, no.
so it's like, I started going out and then, I met this guy and, I'm not going to say any names, right? But, it's like like kind of like what Gabriel said. It's like you go out and seek what you didn't have at home. Like I feel like my parents were providers, but they didn't really show me much affection or love. So, like whenever you hear from someone else, like, oh, you're pretty, you're this, you're that, they start giving you stuff that you never had before. It's like a whole new world and, stuff happens, so, but do I have any regrets? No, honestly, because it's like I have a 13-year-old, she's turning 14 this year, and I consider her like my BFF. So honestly, I have no regrets. Things happen for a reason. I could have had it 2 ways. Either I could have just messed up my life. I could have taken that route, or I could just continue to grow as a person. And right now I'm still in that growth stage. I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm slowly working to get to that point. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I would like to note that her daughter and her look like sisters.
Oh yeah, they do.
technically.
They
Like,
do look
they
like
look
sisters.
like they look like sisters. Like, you know how like a lot of y'all like Hispanic people be having, you know how a lot of y'all Hispanic people, like your parents be having kids like and they're older, so it'd be like the oldest is like 30 and the youngest is like 15 years older, like 10. It's like the same. It's like the same concept basically. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they look like sisters.
They really do look like sisters.
But like, would you say like she's like you when you were younger? Like, do you have to parent yourself? Like, she had the same mannerisms and stuff? Or?
No, actually, she's way different. I want to say she's more disciplined, and I don't know. Like, I guess it's just my way of parenting. And again, to your point, I try to be everything my parents weren't. Like I said, I appreciate everything that my parents gave me. You know, I had what I needed, not what I wanted. You know, I never really, you know, struggled. Like, if I needed a pair of shoes, they'll buy me a pair of shoes. You know. But yeah, I try to be more lenient with her. I don't like yell at her or scream at her. Like if, you know, there's something going on, I try to have that bond with her where she can be honest with me. And I feel like she doesn't really need anything from anyone. And like I said, she's more disciplined. I mean, she's very like reserved.
Yeah.
I was more outgoing, you know, and I think it's a good thing. You know, but yeah, I think she's a pretty good girl. I hope she's a good girl in school too. But
She out there
yeah,
she out there in sweaters too.
but it's like, you know, when you're out there doing stuff, you know, you kind of like, it kind of helps you identify red flags, you know.
Yeah.
And if I seen something, I would have been able to identify it by now because, you know, I'm still kind of like, ¿Cómo es que dices tú, Gabriel? Un chavirruco, tú eres chavir. I feel like I'm still in my teenage phase.
She didn't have one.
I'm still a teenager.
In her defense, she really didn't.
I didn't, you know, so I feel like it's like I have 2 kids, you know, I'm done with the baby raising stage.
Right.
You know, my kids are self-sufficient now, and I feel like it's kind of my time now. So, like I said, no regrets. I couldn't really picture myself being a mom at 40 at this point.
Kind of feel. Damn, I'm close to 40.
And nothing wrong, and there's nothing wrong with those that have a late start, you know, because it's like you have the, you know, the stability, you know, once you're at that age, you have the, you know, the financial stability, and, you know, like I kind of had to like figure things out as I went because I was still so young. So
you know, the cool part is like that you were saying, like you're in your teenage phase. Like imagine like when most people are like teenagers, like we don't have money, so it's like we can't do anything, so you're like just like not doing anything. But right now that you're like in your teenage phase and you're like financially stable, like you're able to be a teenager and then like go do stuff because you have money.
Yeah,
right?
you know, and it's fun.
Because you're never in Houston.
Exactly. I'm always traveling with the kids, you know,
She's
like
Mrs. Worldwide.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm just kind of like doing my own thing, and now I have like travel buddies, you know, and it's like I don't have to, well, they kind of have to do what I tell them to do, but you know, but they enjoy it. They really do enjoy it. So, you know, we do solo traveling. I know I don't have to carry like a pack of diapers, you know, none of that.
So
you
would
know?
you say that you're done having kids?
Oh yeah. So, you know, in the future, like if I ever meet someone or whatever the case may be, you know, we're not having kids. I'm sorry.
Like,
you know, we're gonna do like a Brady Bunch. Is it Brady Bunch thing? It's like, you know, where you have your kids, I have my kids, and you know, we're gonna bring them in the mix, but no new kids. Yeah.
No, hey, nothing wrong with that. You're a good parent too. You're a good mom.
I try.
And a good dad. So that's good. That's inspiring.
So Hazel and I have basically talked about how, you know, our parents were like not that affectionate, great. We heard about your mom last time, but like, how would you describe you growing up? Like, what is your perception of your parents when you were growing up?
You know, I was trying to think about that last time. I feel like growing up, my dad was the one that was very affectionate. Obviously, he would always tell us, you know, that he left us. And recently he confessed, like on the actual video, he said that the reason why he shows, you know, love to all of his children was because he didn't have any parents growing up. Both of his parents, unfortunately, weren't there whenever, you know, throughout his childhood and throughout his, honestly, life. So that's the reason why he will try to do the opposite. As for my mom, I feel like she was always just very cold. She was always like that. So I feel like I don't know if that has to do with me being like an overthinker and like overthinking stuff, honestly.
Back to
Because it's like, I feel honestly, yes, I feel like I need reassurance. Like I feel like I need I need it all the time.
This is why I encourage them to go to
Therapy,
all
I
the
know.
time.
And talking about therapy, I feel like, and I was telling my mom last time, I'm like, I feel like I've had anxiety throughout my life since I was a little kid. But I don't know if this is like a
Hispanic
thing where it's
thing,
like,
yeah.
no existe, that doesn't exist. You never had anxiety. That's all in your head. Stop thinking that way. You're manifesting, being like crazy and depressed, etc. But I feel like in a way, her being that way with us maybe affected me, mentally.
And that's the thing with Hispanics. It's like, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I never had anxiety as a kid, but as an adult, I do now. But my older sister, had anxiety all the time. And she's like, I feel shaky. My hands are cold. And my mom was like, ay, cállate, ya vas a empezar otra vez.
Yeah.
My mom, back we're Salvadorian, so they don't believe in there. They're like, ay, esta muchachita está loca. And they'll kind of just brush you off. And it kind of makes you feel like, like, is there something wrong with me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my sister, like, we're like, again, with my daughter, we're best friends, but my sister's also one of my, closest people to me, because it was like, I was kind of like her shoulder to lean on, even though she's the older sister. I feel like I'm more like the older sister, like, mentally, I want to say. Physically, she's the older sister, but yeah, like, she'll be like, I'm having my shakiness, like, whatever. So yeah, but she wouldn't even tell my mom anymore, and I feel like that's kind of like where she started like losing like trust, because she will feel judged.
I was just gonna say that I feel like they do make you feel, like you're being judged. So it's like you feel like it's better like not coping or not going to someone. You just kind of keep your feelings to yourself. And honestly, now that I'm grown, it's like, that's not the healthiest thing.
It's
so
Yeah, y'all need help. I would tell them all the time. I was like, y'all need to go to
I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me.
exactly. We're like in denial. That's what it is. But we go back to our household. It's like this is the way we grew up, where therapy never really existed. So
well, like, me neither. But like, I think, like, for so many, like, for a few years already, like, I was like, I'm not happy. I do this, it's not working. I try this, it's not working. I don't do this. And it's like everything you try, it's like, oh, I'm gonna work out, oh, I'm gonna go on a run every morning, and then you do it and it feels great the first time, and then it's like I'm back to where I felt. Right. And so, like, then I was just like, you know what, like, I need to go talk to somebody. And it was fun talking to you guys. It was fun, but it was like it kind of seemed like y'all were like a
I was like, ya cállate.
No, y'all look like one of those traffic lights that's like green and red. Have y'all seen that meme where it was it was like I don't want him to do it, but I want him to do it because I want to see what happens.
He's our guinea pig. Yeah, because we were like, okay, you go to therapy first, see how it goes.
They literally, like, my first day, they were like blowing my phone up, like, oh, so how was it? Like, what are you? And I was just like, bro, like, I literally was just talking.
it's like, can we have a session with you? Like, is that
so it was like, and then like, it was like cheap, bro. It was $25. So like every time I go, it's $25 for me.
right?
Because of through insurance, which would be 25 for you, and it would have been 25 for you, but
I have insurance.
okay,
It's still
then-
$25.
let's hope it's $25. But
Yeah.
like, it's nice knowing like every week I can like unload, because sometimes like, and this has happened before where I thought I had somebody I can unload on, and they literally just turned around and said, I don't want to hear it. They'd be like, I don't want to hear it. Like, you're always this. Like, just stop. And it, like, it's, I guess
That's harsh.
yeah, like, well, it's harsh, but like, I kind of understand, because like, imagine just someone just telling you bad stuff like every single day, and there's anything good, right? Like, don't you feel
Yes.
like it, like,
I was
brings you
like
down?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like that for a moment. Yeah.
yeah, like, it brings you down. So it's like, I
Yeah.
don't want to hear it, because then it brings my day down.
Right.
So it's better, because like, like, you're not burdening someone else,
Right.
but you're burdening someone who gets paid for it.
Right.
so she gets money for hearing me once a week, and then she can turn around and tell me like certain things. She doesn't tell me what to do,
Yeah.
but she tells me like why I think the way I think, or like why I think about that,
Yes.
et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to mine. I have a session coming soon.
you have a
So.
session?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I still need to pop my what is it? Pop my my what is
That
it?
sounds like a jar.
Therapy cherry. I still need to
get
pop my
coins.
therapy.
That's a jar.
You know
These
what?
are my coins.
I was like, give me a.
We're gonna.
We'll just share the coins, I guess. I'm donating
Yeah, I still
$10.
need to pop my therapy cherry.
Yeah.
That's
That's
a very
worth
that's a jar
25
that's
cents.
jar worthy.
Yeah.
That's worth 25 cents.
That's so funny. Let me dump this out. We might need it.
No, but
Gabriel
yes,
stash
I am
for
starting
everyone.
a session just because, like Gabriel said, I feel like I tend to vent a lot to Caesar simply because, like, before I used to be like, you know, what my closest friends, but it got to the point where I was just, I just didn't feel comfortable like letting certain information out. So now that I'm closer to Caesar, I'm like, okay, you're my best friend too, so I'm gonna tell you everything. But I do feel like I am draining him at times, and it's like, okay, I don't want to make your life miserable too. So I am gonna see, you know, someone in that field. Try talking to my doctor about it. She prescribed antidepressants, and her response was like, you know, this is just common in millennials. And
Oh
I'm
my
like, really? She's like, it has to do with social media. And I'm like, I feel like I've dealt with this since I was very young, though.
Since way before social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like talking to my therapist, like it's true because when I brought her like all like when a first couple times or whatever, like I told her like, hey, you know, like I feel like this, I feel like that, and blah blah blah, and then she was like, well, think about it like this, like you can literally pick up your phone and you can look at anything you want in the world technically, right? So whenever we go on social media, like you're always going to post your happiest moments,
Right.
you're always going to post like yourself looking good, you're going to post yourself on a good time, like, and you're on vacation, you're having this great life. So like imagine that was just one day of your life, right? And every other day is not that great. But if that's the only picture you post, then how do we know? Like let's say I haven't talked to you in like months and I see like, oh, like she got a new car, like, oh, she's got a new house, like she got a new couch, like, oh, like her life is so good.
You're right.
And then you just start feeling bad because like you start comparing. Right?
Yeah, and I think
So-
it's normal. I think it's just like a human, like it's in our human nature, like for us to compare ourselves with others, you know. But it does put up some pressure. I want to say that's why I don't have social media.
You really don't have social
I
media.
don't have social media. I'm
So
one of the weird
all
people.
all them guys trying to reach her, you can't.
We usually share our handles. I forgot to do that, but we do share our handles. But Jesus gonna be blank.
I'm gonna be blank because
Like, I'll have Gabriel's here, and I'll have obviously mine. But yeah, Hazel does not have any.
I'm just gonna
social.
have like a little blank spot right here, but yeah,
That's
I
gonna be
don't
like
have
at meet her
social
in the
media.
wild.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? You know, like I don't really go out, but you know, there's very rarely do I go out, and you know, the first thing people ask is like guys, they're like, oh, so what's your Instagram? And I'm like, I don't have an Instagram.
Isn't that kind of cringe? Though?
Yeah,
now
that-
that we're like older,
Well,
I don't know.
It
Okay.
is. It is very
Yeah.
cringe, but it's like they kind of take it like as an offense. They're like, "Oh, well, she just doesn't want to give me her social media," and it's like I don't want to be a bitch, but I really don't
Don't.
have social media, and I do have like one of those ghost TikToks where you just log in to like
why would you admit that?
to like watch videos, but I never post because I mean there's some cool stuff there, like cool videos, but I never, you know, signed up for me to become an influencer or for me to post anything. It's just literally for me to watch videos and just like support Jessica. If I
Yes.
see a video, I'm like, let
She's
me give
always
her a
liking
like.
it, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I know like how she feels about like, oh, you know, like people watch my videos
And they don't
they'll
like
give me a
it and
like. So
That
I'm
was like her first thing
like.
was like it was so funny reading that because it was like the first episode was technically like you bitches don't like my shit. she'd be like, oh, I see y'all liking my shit, but y'all don't be actually liking it. I see y'all seeing it.
Yeah.
So
like-
don't piss her off. And
Yeah, so
you
like
know,
her shit.
and I got you a little something now that we're talking about
you
that.
did.
So
Okay.
it actually has to do with this.
Yes.
So if you want to open it,
Sure.
it's like, you know, this is like the right moment.
So it
because,
was you.
Yeah, it was me.
By the way, the box says her name, but it says it as Jessica.
I know.
And then we have like a Photoshop picture where we put like the Edgar haircut on her. It was so funny.
yeah,
that's
you
where
need
it
to
comes
pull it
from,
up.
yes.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Yes.
Jessica.
Jessica.
Like
Well, that's how you
Malika.
pronounce it, right? Like your handle, that's how you
Yes,
pronounce
Jessica.
it. Jessica.
Yeah.
So here,
Okay,
I'm gonna
here.
hold this.
Yeah. So now that we're talking about it, like has to do with the topic.
Okay,
So
let's see. We're gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and open this. Hold on, I'm not like the best at.
Hey, don't fucking don't point it at me.
now with these white couches, vamos a tener todo
You're gonna have me like that.
ensangrentado.
You're gonna have me like that. My brother's cat that like murdered me, like cut up my arm, bro.
Let's see. What is this?
I mean, it's nothing fancy, but it's just a little something.
It's a black box. Okay, that's it. I'm kidding. Wait, there's a gift. Let's see. Oh, okay. This
Read it
is
out
so cute. Okay, it says, "To many, many more." I'm sorry, I added that. It says, "To many, many podcasts after a short break. Don't stop posting content. We want to keep hearing the cheeseman. LOL. Enjoy your gift from Hazel Martinez." Thank
It's me, of course.
That is so sweet. I'm telling you guys, I've never, well, yeah, no. I was going to say I've never worked with people that I've gotten this close with, and that is so true. Oh, what is this? Hold on.
Like I said, it's nothing
No,
fancy,
shut.
but you know.
This is so sweet.
And you know what's crazy? It arrived the day of our.
Hey, I know.
And I know
right?
it arrived today. Oh, be careful or you'll end up in my podcast. I love this.
That's funny.
Oh
That
my
is so
God.
Yeah.
This is so cute. You guys,
So-
I'm going to zoom in. This is so cute. Thank you so
Of course.
I'm gonna be using this on every episode.
Yeah,
now.
because you
This
know
is
we were just
so
talking about how
cute.
she got like upset. So don't
Thank
piss her off because
you.
you're gonna wind up in her podcast.
I love that. That is so cute. This is so cool.
You know the crazy part is like Hazel's really not affectionate, and she doesn't like showing people that she likes them.
I know.
And this is like major.
Major.
This
That is major.
This is like okay, I got you a gift because I thought about you and I miss you and blah blah blah.
I know.
Yeah, if
No,
I
that
get
is-
you something, you're special. So
I
I got
love it.
Gabriel
So-
tacos this Friday. It was one taco.
It was I actually forgot to pay you.
no, it's okay because I mean it's a freaking taco.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, that was gay.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest, that was gay.
Would that be a jar?
That's
Yeah,
that kind of
no,
sounds like
jar.
a jar.
Jar.
Lesby? Like
Let's-
let's be
like,
honest?
No, like let's be honest, but like lesby. 'cause
Yeah.
that
Okay,
was
that's
kinda
not a
gay.
jar. Yeah, I guess.
I'm not a lesbian. I mean, nothing against lesbians, but I'm
like-
not a
she's like,
lesbian.
let me backtrack real quick to not get canceled.
I mean, the
The good
moment.
thing is you don't have social media, so they can't. like, blow
Yeah,
up your
they
social
can't.
media, so-
Yeah, no.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's really nice. Actually.
That
That's
is
crazy.
really, really
You know.
nice. I love it. I'm like still.
It's gonna be
Like
your
in awe.
podcast cup.
Yeah. I'm gonna be testing it like right now. The remainder of like the podcast, I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
hold
have to
it.
get like
Double cheek.
the mic holder and then just
Oh
like, be like
yeah.
drinking your
And you know what's
coffee.
funny? Now that you say Topo Chico, I honestly think the reason we bonded was for our love of Topo Chico,
Honestly, that and like the snacking and
the snacking. But
And
you know
the
what? We
fact
need
that
to
they
get
can't
like
eat-
sponsored at this point. Like
Yeah,
Topo Chico
Topo
is
Chico
a
needs-
shit.
yeah.
Bro, that's a whole caguama, bro. Like that thing is bigger than your face. Like look at it. Put it next to your head. That thing is bigger than her face, bro. Like she handed me one, and I was like, "Damn, these hoes are huge."
Yeah.
Where'd you get these? I've never seen a Topo
Me
Chico.
neither. I've
that
never
big.
to be
either.
honest.
No,
Sam's. Yeah.
they're like gigantic size, bro. There's GMO.
No, but yeah, Hazel and I are very similar though. We do you know, I was gonna talk about how people could go, and this is like super like different, I guess, but I was having a recent conversation with someone, and you know, they brought up how they're not able to go without sex.
Why are you? You're like.
I didn't mean to look at you,
You're
Gabriel.
like, well, you're like super old, and you're like, you're like.
We don't like saying the word
S word.
sex.
She's like, it's like, she was like the sex.
It's like
she,
you know,
like,
whenever
whispered
you're
it.
in elementary school, SEX.
Right.
Why'd you look at me when you said we didn't have this conversation? What the heck?
We used to talk about this though.
Relationships.
Yeah.
So y'all want to get into that?
Let's get into that.
Yeah,
'cause
let's get into
I feel
it.
like yeah.
So I think one of the coolest things about the dynamic of this like friendship is that I've been able to give y'all insight on how some men think
Yeah.
or tell you like, you know, like is it raining?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, what the?
So like I've been able to give y'all insight on like how like some men think and like why men think that way, right? And it's kind of like, has it helped
It has.
in a sense?
Mm-hmm.
Not Hazel though. She doesn't like men.
No, because it's like, you know, I'm always like kind of, I have it like in the back of my mind.
They
I'm
need
like, I
therapy.
kind of know what men are thinking at this
the whole deal is
point.
they need therapy.
You know, so yeah, it does help having someone like a guy to talk to, like, hey, like, you know, like I'm talking to this guy or whatever, you know, or whatever the case may be, you know.
And y'all been able to tell me in a way, because y'all not really helpful all the time, but y'all just make fun of me more than anything. But you know, like I've said like, oh, you know, like I'm talking to this, and I'm like, what do y'all think? Like, should I do this and that? And then yeah,
And we're like,
so,
no.
yeah.
And you still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
No,
not
but
qualified. Like only one is getting married. The other one, she thinks
I am not gonna get married, y'all. First of all, well, I'm sorry. Maybe that
Okay,
may
Bad Bunny.
change. That may.
No me quiero casar.
You know what? I think I'm like the only person that doesn't listen to Bad Bunny. I don't know, in the Latino culture.
you know, I listen to him, but I don't know
He just
like
got corny after.
yeah, I don't listen to all of his songs. Like I don't really know all of his songs, or I'm not.
Yeah,
up
I'm
to
not
date
like
with
a Bad
Bunny.
Bunny fan. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I
He's-
just don't
yeah.
understand like the hype or the
Illuminati.
bichota vibe or the bichota
Bichota
thing.
vibe.
Yeah,
You
you've
know?
always said that though about Karol
Yeah.
G. Like you don't get the hype.
I don't get the hype. I'm like, I mean, nothing gets the bichotas out there, but but
Bichota.
las
bichota.
bichotas, todas las bichotas. But I mean, honestly, I don't understand the hype, and honestly, I never understood how someone or a person can get so obsessed over a celebrity.
I
I'm
think that's-
sorry.
yeah, I
You
agree
know,
with that one.
I could just see someone. I mean, I think Henry Cavill is like my man,
Yeah.
you know, but if I ever see him, like, I'm not gonna like fangirl. I'll just be like, oh, okay, whatever. Like,
Right.
keep walking. They're just regular people that poop, fart, you know, like the rest of us, you know? So, like,
Okay,
son gente común y corriente, como like,
So let's stop trying to avoid this conversation about like your intimate
Intimate
problems.
intimate problem.
that's-
because
because
I
you
think
just-
we all
you just
have
did a whole
well, except
spin-off.
Gabriel. Yeah, but I think we do have intimate problems. And
I
I'm
think
just gonna go ahead and
so.
throw this out there. I know I'm gonna get married, but I could really just go out. I mean, go a few years
out.
without having, you know, sex. Like
What?
I'm just gonna say that.
the pause.
She's like looks both ways like.
She's just gonna come out like, what you say?
"Look,
I don't
give
need
me that ring
it.
back."
Like I don't need it. How do you feel about that?
Well-
would you say that you have intimate problems?
I want to say so, honestly, and it all comes back to like your mental issues. I
Hey,
mean,
hold
I'm
on.
not.
She didn't have intimate problems when she was out there in high school. Brooklyn,
Oh,
right?
shut up. Well, you know, look.
When you was getting
so-
when you was getting paid.
Shut up. Anyways, I've always had issues with that. And I'm gonna be very honest. The longest I've gone without it was 6 years, and a lot of people don't believe me. A lot of people are like, "There's no freaking way in hell," and blah blah blah. And honestly, it was like the best days of my life, honestly, because it's like you learn to love yourself, you know, like I want to say like I can't speak for other people, but you know, based on what I've seen, a lot of people seem to like need it, like, oh my god, you know, I'm in a
Yes.
bad mood.
Why are you looking at me?
You know, I'm in a bad mood because I need to have it, you know.
That's not true.
But
Completely.
you know, it's like I feel like you have to love yourself. I know it's gonna sound very freaking corny, but you have to love yourself before you learn to love others. And it was just kind of like a time for me to like cleanse my mind, my soul. And honestly, I feel great. You know, like I can honestly say it's like instead of doing that, I found other ways to kind of like relieve stress, like working out. I was like 30 pounds heavier. You know, I started like exercising more. And yeah, I think 6 years it was good, you know.
Yeah.
But and then not only that, I mean, Houston is a big city. There's a lot of like STDs and
Dirty
stuff.
folks out there. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a
it's
lot
like
of-
I'm an
there's a lot of
overthinker, just like
triflers.
Jessica. So it's like I overthink everything, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god, like what if they have herpes or
Oh my God, yes.
hepatitis, you know? And it's like
It's
I
not
don't
a
like to
bad-
touch
but
people,
it's
and
not
I don't
bad
want
that you
people
think that
touching
way, though.
me.
Yeah.
It's not
But-
bad that you think that way though. So.
Yeah.
As a guy.
Well, no, just like
No,
and
but
as a
I'm saying
person.
that, but as a guy, like if you were to meet a girl, you know, that hasn't been with anyone for the past 6, 7 years, what would be your first impression of the girl?
She lying.
Yeah, a lot of people think like I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, she doesn't have social media. She hasn't had
Because-
sex in 6 years. Sex.
So it's like really hard though, because like I sometimes like I do think like you're not even like fully honest with yourself. So how are you gonna be honest with someone who's interested in you right away that you don't know?
Right.
So if you tell me that, I'm like, nah, there's no way. I was like, like you're exaggerating. Like it was probably like 3 months max.
Yeah.
Like you're just trying to make yourself like seem like, oh,
Like a
it's-
saint.
like, oh yeah, you're such a good woman. Like, and if it's true, I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's really hard to believe.
It's very
Yeah.
rare,
Especially
to
with someone
find.
with like 2 kids.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's what I would think. You know, initially.
Yeah.
But-
And it also comes to that, like I said, you know, my kids are grown but not fully grown. So it's like at this point in my life, it's like sex isn't like the main
priority.
focus. Yeah, it's not a priority. It's like, you know, like I'm trying to work, you know, I go to school, you know, like I have all this stuff going on. So it's like I don't even think about sex. So, you know, and like Gabriel said, like some guys will be like, oh yeah, she's trying to be a goody good, you know, but no, I'm not trying to be a goody good, you know, it's just like, you know, it's
Yeah.
just like self-care, you know, self-love.
You don't crave it. You just
I don't crave it. Yeah. And it's like when you're too busy doing other stuff, you don't
right.
even think about it. you
Right.
know? So, yeah, but I think you can relate as well.
I can
right?
relate. Yeah. I feel like I think I went like maybe 6, 7 years also.
Woo.
I know. Look at that. I know.
Dang,
And
y'all making me feel like a slut right now.
you know, and
He's
I
like,
remember
I had
like
sex before the podcast.
no, I didn't.
actually no, I knew I smelled something. I was like,
Hey,
it
nuh-uh,
smells.
stop.
It smells funny. It smells. I can smell sex.
Sex. It's like now we're gonna say sex.
That's gotta be a jar. That's a jar, bro.
No, but yes. What was I saying? That I went,
You went, like,
7
years.
years,
7 years.
etc. And honestly, no regrets at all.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I mean, and also it's like I remember hearing other girls, you know, when I was younger, and it's like, oh yeah, I've been with X amount of guys, and I'm like, really? I'm like, I've only been with one. It almost made me feel weird that like it's like I didn't like really blend it in the group of girls because it's like everyone had been with more than 4 or 5, and it's like, well, you know. Should I lie? Should I say that I've been with like 6?
See, I see what I said about like lying. Like,
Yeah, but I never did, so no regrets. I could go without it. What about you, Gabriel? Do you feel like it's necessary? Do you feel like it makes you feel better? Does it help your mental health?
okay, so like the longest I've gone was like 8 months. So it was. I think that was still a long time.
Yeah.
It felt like forever.
For you, yes.
And then like
Oh yeah,
That's
for Gabriel, that's forever.
they're really y'all are making me look like a slut in front of the girls. But no, you
Pues
know,
quien
like
te va a querer, te va a querer así.
nah. So actually, one thing is, months before I went to therapy, like I started practicing abstinence, not celibacy. It's different. Abstinence is when you choose not to do it.
Okay.
Celibacy is when religiously you're not
You're
supposed
not.
to do it. So,
Uh-huh.
but I started practicing abstinence because it kind of felt like I was just kind of, there was points where I was just doing it just to do it, and then I would feel bad afterwards. Like I wouldn't feel like bad that I did it. I would just feel like grossed out.
Oh my god.
Like I would feel like this is disgusting. Like I do not like this girl. Like she needs to get off of me. Like
Oh my god.
it was
Well-
like post nut clarity. It was just like literally like yeah, like she needs
It's
to,
like
she needs to get
that
away.
deep, empty feeling inside, you know, like
It was like very deep.
it's like
and-
get away from me, you filthy animal.
Literally, in a sense, yeah, like it was that way. So, but like I will say, like for me, like when I get to that point, when I've gotten to that point where I liked it, it was because I liked the person. Like I really have to like the person for the most part to be able to do it. If like, cause I feel like I kind of know like who I like,
Mm-hmm.
and when I do it, it's gonna be good.
Mhm.
or I know who I don't like, and I know that it's just a hit, like a hit it and quit it type deal. But I'm really upfront about like what my intentions are for most women, so they know what's up.
And that's very common, apparently.
Well, I'm not a slut. I'm not.
No,
like,
not you. I'm just
smashing,
saying
like,
it's
every
very
girl that I
common for
see.
like a lot of girls and guys to, just come into those terms where it's like no strings attached. We're just gonna do it, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, in my experience, I think like depending on the person, but like some women will say like, oh yeah, I don't want anything, and then the moment like it happens, and then like you go back to that pattern where you're not really like messaging a lot and blah blah blah, then they get mad, and then they like feel used.
Oh.
But I'm like that's we talked about this,
Like
this
we
is what it
agreed on
was.
this, right?
Like you're not my girlfriend, and like I don't ask like what the history is on some people.
I think that's
Because
is
it's like
that
the less I know, the
disrespectful?
better. No, it's like the less I know, the better. Like,
okay.
like I'm gonna drive myself crazy. Like there was an instance where I shook someone's hand that they were doing it with at the same time.
Wait, what?
Oh.
I don't understand. Like what?
Like I was with someone, and then like we went out, and then there was a guy that she said hi to, and she made me shake his hand.
Okay,
And
that's pretty
I,
bad.
Like later found out that they were still,
Yeah.
so like
Oh
that,
my God.
like that when I figured it out, like it was like it kind of disgusted me,
Right.
because it was like
okay. Yeah. Less is more.
yeah, like so I don't want to know, and I
Yeah.
really hope to never find out. But and then sometimes you look up, you see the guy, and you're like, that guy. That guy.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about that too. We were, like at work, we used to be like, "Would you rather?"
Yeah,
People
yes.
come up with these random scenarios, and it was like the weather or it wasn't any better. Like they were both really bad options. But
Yeah.
I just kind of like asked Gabriel the question, like, so if you see a girl that you really, really like, she's your type, like she's everything you wanted in a girl, but she had sex with a guy that looks repulsive, would that prevent you from having sex with that girl? And he said yes.
He said yes.
Yeah.
Like I hesitate. Like I would hesitate because it was like if I know the guy especially,
Right.
then it's like that's terrible. Like
my
why are
God,
we in the
yeah.
same, like this is like taxes, right? Like why am I in the same tax bracket as this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's I mean, I understand if it was like years back, like people change and
Ya
we
se
can have
lavó con
different-
un poquito de jabón y...
I
Ya, wa-
know.
Ay, ping-pong.
ya se lavó el sope.
Bro, these are like normal conversations we have all the
That's a
time.
new one though. I had not heard that one before. It is so big.
She said this earlier this week, I think.
Oh my
You know what's worse? I had a sopa today. Thank you, Hazel.
You're welcome.
I am not gonna get a soap anytime soon.
Well, yeah.
That was sopa jar.
Oh Lord.
But yes.
She's been putting more money in the jar than I have.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that money has gone pretty far. You know, you got a Starbucks once, and I know you said you bought tacos and
Bought
stuff.
tacos before.
Yeah. And
I've said a lot of crazy stuff before therapy.
so therapy has been helping.
It's been great.
It's been great. That's good. So, any other updates? What do you want to share? I know you said that you're going. You're going to Mexico.
Yeah, I'm going to Mexico by myself because like I would imagine y'all have the same thing. Like y'all have a group of friends, right? And
Like to
then-
travel with?
No, just group of friends. Like you have friends.
Well-
you probably don't have friends. You have kids.
I want to say that it's like very rare that I consider someone my friend. It's like I know a lot of people, but it's like a short amount of people that I consider my friends. Like
What-
you guys, I consider my friends because you guys pretty much know everything about me.
same.
And then like I talk to y'all like my best friend, and then I have my sister and obviously Katie, like my
Yeah.
daughter. She knows everything about me. But I have like a group of friends that I go out with. Not really. I'm kind of more like a loner.
Yeah, these are things a lot of girls say, by the way. Anyway, so
Oh, shut up! But no,
but like the
Yeah.
whole thing is like, let's say like you're in a group chat with like 5 people and these are your friends and you hang out with them regularly.
no.
Okay, so Jessica,
Yes, I have a group
you know,
chat,
so you
uh-huh.
have like that group, and then y'all are like, oh, like we should go on vacation, and then you're like, okay,
Oh,
well, I
yeah.
can't this day, I can't this day, I can't this day,
Yeah.
and then you're like, okay, well, I can buy my ticket now, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I can buy my ticket, and then everybody's like, okay, we can go on this one day, and then like that's like 2 months from now, and then like a month later you're like, okay, everybody needs to buy the ticket, here's the Airbnb, and then like 4 people drop out, so then you're the only one. So like if I were to wait for my friends to be ready to go with me places, I would never go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, you know, and that was one of the things that, you know, when I started like really like digging into like caring for myself, like I had to be comfortable being alone. So, you know, like y'all know, like I take one day a week and I go out by myself, and like I'll do whatever I want. Like I want to go have dinner by myself, like I'll have dinner
Thursdays.
Right. You have a
self-care
self-care
day.
day.
Or
Yeah,
if I
which
want
is
to go
great,
shopping, like
yeah.
I'll go shopping. I'll buy myself something that I want.
Yeah.
If I want to lay in bed for the rest of the day, I'll go do that. So, you know, it's just like something that you don't normally do to like break your week. But, you know, like I decided like, okay, well, I'm comfortable being alone. Like I'm just going to travel. And as a man, I have the privilege to travel alone
Right.
without fear. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I
all
always
the time.
travel alone.
I'm
You
too
take
scared. I'm
your
too
kids.
paranoid.
That's
I
not
know, but
alone.
I've done solo travel too.
Hazel
Yeah.
drives to Mexico alone with her kids. That's,
Oh yeah, I can tell y'all stories about all
That
that.
is so scary.
So yeah, like, you know, so yeah, I'm gonna go alone. I'm getting an itinerary together, and I mean,
That's exciting.
nobody's gonna stop me.
And then you're gonna come back with a Mexican,
Accent.
Mexican
I'm
city.
hoping to come back with like a second family. Like I'm gonna disappoint my ancestors if I don't have a second family in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to get more in touch with my Mexican roots. I'm Mexican, even though I said that I went to El Salvador.
Yeah.
I'm actually Mexican. So
I think I'm more Mexican than you are, and
You
I'm
are?
Salvadorian.
I think I can agree
are.
with that. Yeah.
I think I'm more Mexican than both of them.
Bro,
Hazel has been to Mexico more times.
she goes
than-
like every weekend.
Yeah.
She was about to
Yeah.
go this weekend.
Well, I fell in love with Mexico.
Oh, I thought she was going to say something else. I fell in love with a Mexican.
No, I just fell in love with the culture, the food, the people. And don't get me wrong, I love Mexico, but I mean, I feel like in some parts they can get it together because todavía existe eso como de las estafas y todo
sí.
eso. And, you know, I'm very bold when it comes to like traveling. I don't mind, you know, going somewhere. I'm very spontaneous. Like, oh, I have nothing to do this weekend. I'm going to drive to Mexico. And, you know, it just happens. And you guys know that. I'm like, oh, I'm in Mexico. You know, we'll be there for Saturday and Sunday and come back on Monday. But you know, like I feel like the police is very corrupt, and I've gotten pulled over so many times, and you know, especially when you have Texas plates, they're like, oh, she's American, you know, I'm gonna see what I can get from her, and I've gotten into some situations where it's been pretty scary, and you know, I've gotten pulled over, like, hey, like, you know, where are you going? And I would just have to like sometimes give him money and stuff like that. So I love Mexico overall. You know, it's my third home, you know, Houston, of course, Salvador, and then third Mexican, you know, I love my Mexican people. But yeah, I feel like we could still get it together, you know.
I've been to El Salvador. I can understand why you enjoy Mexico a lot more.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was great. It was
No,
great.
we have the best president. I mean, I know it's an opinion, but I feel like Bukele is doing his thing.
He's cleaning it up. Yeah.
Yeah, for
He made
sure.
like ridiculous like changes that are they're like big humanitarian like issues right now, because like it seems that he took away people's rights, and you know, it just kind of is looked upon really weird. But at the end of the day, like when I went, like when my cousins went a while back, they would talk about how they can only stay in a certain area, they can only be out before dark, like
Very
was
restricted.
it was very restricted. But now it was like I was chilling, bro. Like I got there super late the first night in San Salvador, and I got there by myself, and I was hungry, and I walked like 2 streets over, and I found a place that was open till 3 a.m, and I ate. like there by myself with no fear, no nothing. Like the people that were sitting there, they were just in good spirits, you know. So
I think I was reading something about that El Salvador is becoming like one of like the safest places to travel or visit. Or
I think
it's
it's currently rated as the safest place to be to travel, which is insane.
That is insane, because
so if y'all can find a $36 ticket, y'all should go.
Yeah. I still can't believe you found a
$36 ticket.
Yeah, for $36.
Jessica, you need to go. She
to El Salvador? Maybe next time you go, we should all go.
We should all go.
Because I don't have any people in Salvador.
Right. No, it was fun. Yeah. Oh my God, they're fresh.
The pupusas were good.
Pupusas, bro.
So would you rather eat las pupusas de maíz o pupusas de arroz?
The maíz. Well, you know what? The arroz, like, I felt like they were, like, crunchier. Like, slightly crunchier.
Yeah.
But they weren't as fluffy. So, but you can taste everything on the inside more. Mm-hmm. But I think, like, los de maíz, like, they were more, like, fluffy. Like, it was, like, overall, like, good, if that makes sense. Like, the other ones, it was, like, you can taste the filling more, not the outside. But, like, the maíz ones, like, you can taste.
Wait, so which ones do we have here?
The maíz. I mean, we have both, but it's not as common.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, because I had never heard of like
the arroz.
The arroz, yeah.
Ooh,
they
girl,
like
you're
grind it
missing
up to
out.
powder and make it like the masa.
La masa is de arroz.
Yeah, so it's like it fries up nicer, but
it's so good.
But they're like super good though.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get like Jessica though. You went to Italy.
Girl, French people are rude. As a girl, person, not just girl, but I don't eat steak. And apparently I don't like steak. I don't like seafood. And that's all they eat aside from like pasta. But yeah, it was very hard. I was like, okay, what am I going to eat? I had to eat steak one time, but I had to make them well done. Yeah. And apparently they don't make well done over there.
No.
But I was like, can you please like cook it, like overcook this, well done, extra done. But it was good.
I'm sure Caesar had like a great time eating all the carnivore stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun.
Is the Eiffel Tower as nice as they say it is? Because I've heard it was pretty bad.
You know, I've seen that TikTok of that guy that's like Paris, like it stinks and it's like trashy. Yeah, it has its areas. If you've been to New York, and I'm guessing Mexico City's like New York. I don't know if Mexico City's like New York.
I've never been to New York.
Yeah, but it's like New York.
It has like nice parts and ugly parts.
Just like it's like Houston. I feel like Houston has its nice parts, and then it has like downtown,
Southside Place.
59.
Oh, that's like Bryce
missing
Village.
it.
Yeah.
Westview.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that, but it's good. Well, I'm gonna have Gabriel read a couple of questions that we got for today's episode. Let me go here really fast. So there's a total of that, and you just have to click on, like, for instance, like the first one, and then you'll see.
So are these just the amount of people?
Yes.
Okay. So this person is between 20 to 25. It says, how did you hear about our podcast? I follow one of your little sisters. You're a creep.
I was like, wait, it says that.
Wait, who's a creep?
I've said that they were a creep.
Oh.
You might have to edit that out. Which topics would you like us to cover in future episodes? Story times with your sisters. That one was entertaining.
The one with my sisters?
With your youngest sisters?
Oh, yeah.
There's like 100 of them. So it's like, and by the way, so the background is like the Fraustos are basically like the Kardashians of Harm Clark. Of like
the ghetto version.
They're like the Kardashians of the ghetto neighborhood. But like it's because like they all are like pretty. Like they're all like pretty. So it's like you hear
for
a
Gabriel
Frausto
to say
name,
something nice, dang, he must like me as a friend for real. Oh, he's talking about my sisters. Maybe
the silence was loud as shit. But yeah, so that's so that was pretty entertaining to hear. So let's see. Story times with your sisters. How often do you listen to podcasts? Okay. Weekly. She only got 4, so.
Yeah.
How likely are you to recommend our podcast to a friend? There's no response. You're a fake ass bitch. Do you prefer longer or shorter episodes? Longer, yeah. So
okay, so would you prefer?
Well, where do you listen to this podcast at?
The podcast app on
No,
Apple?
but like where are you when you're listening?
In my car,
Your car, like what are you doing?
driving.
Driving home, like
Yeah,
just driving in general.
yeah.
Right?
If I'm driving in general, or like whenever I'm just home, like cooking or something, I'll have my headphone on, like just.
So you listen to the audio more than actual. Like,
Yeah,
watching the
yeah.
video,
I don't
right?
think I've ever seen
the video?
again, because I don't have
No, no,
social
no,
media.
no.
But yeah, I listen to all my podcasts, just like.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
And
more.
I watch it. I listen to it working out, so I don't always visually see it.
Yeah.
But there are times, like let's say other podcasts that I've watched, like they have the visual, and sometimes like the visual is still entertaining to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But most of the times, like I'm watching it working out or
Okay,
listening to it
listening.
working out. Yeah.
Would you say that it's better to have episodes that are longer than 30 minutes or keep it at 30 minutes?
So
It just depends. I think.
I think longer is better because
Really?
longer is better because a lot of times like you want background noise
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you just kind of want it to keep going, and then sometimes like you just say like interesting stuff like
Yeah.
me calling people fake ass
Fake-
bitches
for
for not recommending,
recommending
it.
a
So
friend.
recommend it
Yeah.
to a fucking friend, you loser. All right, so it says, how do you feel about unfiltered conversations on the podcast? 10 out of 10. So you have no problem calling me
Chismosos.
calling you a fake ass bitch. Would you be interested in being a guest on our podcast? No. I understand. What country are you from? U.S. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us? What kind of clothing stores do you enjoy shopping at?
Oh, Zara.
Exactly. Here at Zara and
Zara.
H&M.
So they said that I have a hard time finding good fits here. So
Like here in the U.S. or here?
I
I
don't know.
guess. Well, yeah. Try H&M and Zara.
Zara,
I would
that's-
say.
that's where-
Zara.
yeah, bro, they always get packages. Well, Hazel would always get packages from Zara.
Yeah.
Like the FedEx guy knows her name. Like
Yeah.
he knows. He like brings a
Her
package.
packages will
directly
get
to
delivered
her.
at work.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm wearing Zara. Like this shirt is from Zara.
I saw your jeans. It's like
And my
Zara.
shoes are from
Yeah.
Zara.
This is H&M and H&M. Yeah.
So so for men, like like my
Yeah, what are
shirt,
you wearing?
My shirt is from Zara. My pants are from Abercrombie. Abercrombie has actually come up, but it is pricey.
Yeah, I'm
So
stick
that's the
with
only
Zara.
thing. If you can
Yeah.
catch them
Yeah,
on a
stick with
sale,
Zara too.
if you catch them on a sale, then it's good. I think Zara is like pretty decent for
Yeah.
what you get most of the time.
It's like even when I go to Mexico City, like the first store I go to is Zara.
Is it nicer there?
It's the same thing, exact same
The
price.
building looked dope. The building
Yeah.
looked really
Oh
cool.
yeah, it's like vintage and yeah, it's nice. But honestly, it's the same thing.
I
And then
went-
there's another store called Bershka.
Oh, I've heard of that one. I saw it. I think it was Spain.
Yeah, it's there too. It's right next to Zara. I definitely recommend. I think you would like Bershka. It's very similar to Zara, and they have really nice clothes there.
I'll FaceTime you when I'm there.
Yes.
But I went to the Zara in El Salvador.
They have a Zara
Wait a
there.
second.
Yeah, they have a Zara and they also have a Mango, which is like
Oh
a
yeah, I've heard of
competitor.
Mango.
But yeah, I've heard I went to the Zara there and they had a couple nicer things, but they were a little bit more expensive.
Oh,
Because everything's U.S. dollars in El Salvador. Okay, so
Okay.
next question. So the answer to that one, Zara and H&M.
And would that be? What do you recommend for a guy? I mean,
For a
Zara,
guy,
Abercrombie. Or
Honestly, it just kind of depends. What I would describe my style is like just like neutral older. Because there's a point where like there's guys wearing like super skinny jeans and like cargo pants. I hate cargo pants. I don't follow trends per se, but I like things that fit slightly oversized. So right now Abercrombie's doing a really good job for men.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they have like their shirts are pretty good quality. The pants fit amazing. They actually fit better than American Eagle.
and they come in short.
For the record, yes.
For the short kings.
For the record,
I was like the
I
short
am like
kings.
I am 5'5" on a very good sunny day with Air Force One.
So let's just like throw that out there, all the ladies that are
right.
interested.
But that does hinder me with dating a lot too. So
Really?
it does. We can get into that later.
Okay.
All right. So next question: what is your age range? 26 to 30. You old. How did you hear about our podcast? I've been knowing the Frostos since I was in the elementary. They from the hood.
Hey.
Which topics would you like us to cover in the future episodes? Style, girl hacks, and how to become an influencer. Would you say you're an influencer?
I'm not an influencer.
Would you say
Well,
any of your sisters are influencers?
you know what? I feel like I'm not an influencer in like number aspects because obviously I don't have like hundreds of followers. But I would say that I am an influencer that because in a way where I influence other girls to get certain things that I have or to do certain things that I'm doing because I've seen it. And sometimes it could be like my own sisters, and it's like, oh, I influence you, you know? Okay. But yeah, in that aspect.
I would say your style is like pretty nice. Like because like you see it like the way that a lot of women dress like nowadays is like really kind of
Tacky.
too revealing.
Oh.
And like I've never had that thought about you. I always feel like, oh, like she's dressed really nice. Like,
Thank
she's
you.
dressed
It's very tasteful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we're alike. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like.
Well, she
showing
doesn't.
it.
I've only ever seen her in like her work clothes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
whatever.
But yeah, like you'd say she dresses pretty nice for like
For her
señora.
age, and
Yeah.
she's not a señora.
I'm not
So,
a senora.
you know what?
Well,
You know what? Se mira bien cuidada.
stop, because that is another topic. Oh my God, we're gonna talk about creepy customers after this. Yes. Wait, but about the girl hacks? I don't have girl hacks, but I feel like Hazel might have some girl hacks. Because when it comes to skincare and all this other hacks,
Is that what girl
Hazel.
hacks are?
I mean, wouldn't that be like
I don't know. I thought like she wanted a hack on how to be a girl. Like how do you?
girl hacks? Like
Girl
hacks,
hacks,
are,
just like girl hacks. You know, like I want to say
How to
like,
block a man? Like what's the hack?
well, I mean, how to block a man?
Would that be a girl
Well,
hack?
the first thing you want to do is get a fake phone number, like the apps,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
There you go.
Yeah, and just go from there. But yeah,
There you go.
all the stuff you can do.
How often do you listen to podcasts? I guess this is like a question for overall. So
Yeah.
it's daily.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty nice. How likely are you to recommend our podcast to a friend? She put 10 out of 10. I'm assuming this is a woman. Do you prefer longer or shorter episodes? Longer.
So
we
we're
got
aiming
2.
towards longer. Okay.
How do you feel about unfiltered conversations on the podcast? 10 out of 10. Yes. Would you be interested in being a guest on our podcast? Yes.
Nice.
Slide in the DMs.
Right.
So she can schedule you in. What country are you from? The U.S. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Keep up the amazing work. I enjoy every episode.
Oh, thank you. That was nice. That was nice.
That is nice. And I've told you, like, actually, you know what? I meant to tell you when I saw the episode with your mom versus the first episode, like, it's actually, like, pretty improved. Like, it's nice.
You know, and I was over.
What you say? What were you trying to say? The first one was bad or what?
No, but there's a difference.
No, but there's like a quality difference. Like,
Yeah.
you can tell, like,
Yeah, I think the quality for sure.
sometimes, like, it's like you don't really know what to do, so you're just kind of like doing
Just to record or
something.
just
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was like overthinking before, like this freaking
overthinking.
overthinking before the episode, and I was telling Caesar because he was like, he's like, you need to be a better host, and that kind of hurt me. I'm not even gonna lie, that hurt.
Constructive criticism.
So
Yes.
I think like I read somewhere that you said you wanted to be a better host, and I feel like out of all three of us, I feel like I can take charge of a conversation for the most part. So I was going to try to show you how to host, but
Yeah.
you know, I think we both talk a lot, so it just kind of like just happens.
No, and I guess my problem sometimes is that I feel like I don't like interrupting someone when they're having like, their turn talking, and it's like, yeah, they could get carried away, and it's like the conversation gets carried away. And then it's like, oh, I had a question and I forgot about it. Yeah.
I want to write down those questions.
Yeah, so
did you want to talk about your Cuidada episode?
oh my God. Cuidada. So Cuidada came from this one creepy customer at work. He made a comment. He would always come, right? He would always come and he will
Bien cuidado.
for a
look.
glass of water.
Yes, he will come directly to my section, to my desk, and he would ask me for a bottle of water. And, me being, I wouldn't really give it much thought. So I will get up and I will get a bottle of water.
Innocently.
Right. And then I noticed that he was checking me out. And then he made a comment asking my age. And I told him, I was 30. And he's like, oh, estás cuidada para... Oh, what did he say? Estás bien cuidada.
No,
Estás
he
bien
said,
cuidada.
"Estás bien cuidada."
Ew, that is
He's like,
so cringe.
estás bien cuidada.
Oh, that's disgusting. Like, honestly, I'm getting goosebumps. But, after that, he will call work. He will call to our workplace. And yeah, I remember this one time I pretended to be Hazel, and I was like, thank you for calling. This is Hazel.
Didn't he invite you out?
He did. He invited me out. It was just so nasty.
Don't you wear like a big old ring?
People doesn't care. I had this one customer, and I remember he asked if I was free to go to lunch. And I said I was in a relationship. And he said it didn't matter. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, I've you know, I've had lunch with girls that are in relationship and married, and I'm like, yeah,
Ew.
well, I'm not one of those. I'm like, that's weird. So creepy customers. Yeah,
I think like insight as a man on that one, like I think they were just like really like
Horny.
thinking that, yeah, horny.
Yeah.
So because like for me, like if a girl tells me like, oh, I'm in a relationship, even if it's not true or something, like even if it's not true, then I'll be like, okay, like I'm gonna respect, you know, because I wouldn't want another guy or like my girl to, you know, be in a situation where she feels like she has to say yes.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say like I would like back off. I'd be like,
Respectfully
okay.
decline.
Is
I'd
it
be
an
like, okay.
older guy thing? I mean,
I don't
I'm not trying to be mean like to all the older guys, but
No.
it seems like it's a trend with the older guys.
You would know, huh?
I like older men.
You really do.
But you know what? I think as I get older, I'm open to like dating younger guys.
would you date
Are you open
someone
to
that-
actually dating anybody?
Not right now. No, definitely not right now. But in the future, once I hit like 40 or something, I think I
What
can
is
see
the
myself
youngest? What is the youngest you would date?
like right now or like in the future.
I mean, right now.
Oh,
or
right
in the
now?
future.
Like,
You could say
we'd
like
say, like,
numbers,
right
like
now.
yeah.
Right now, the youngest, I want to say like 25.
That's only like 2 years younger, no? Than you. What? How old?
I'm 29.
How many years? So
Like
5?
4 years.
So you'd say like within 5 years.
Yeah, I
So
just don't want like a no savo person, you know.
she wants some real ranchito. She
No,
wants some real
I
prieto.
want to say my taste is very wide.
It's not wide.
Yeah.
She likes them collecting Social Security with life alerts around their neck.
Stop. Not that old. Not that old. But you know. Yeah.
hello, lady.
Hey there, girl.
Yeah, you know, like as long as I'm in the will, you know, it's all good.
So you would say you would date someone within 5 years or so younger than you?
Yeah, just like 5 years. I think that's I don't want to date someone my daughter's age.
And what would be the oldest you would go?
the oldest I'll go? Si está bien cuidado, maybe like I want to say like 48.
Okay.
Yeah, 48. I know it's like a weird number, but yeah, I think
For
48.
real, 48.
That
Not
is-
50, 48.
Well,
Yeah.
I kind of understand the number part.
Why?
Because like for
50 's
me,
too
like
old.
my
Girl, that's only 2 years.
my age range is like I only like women who are 28 and like 35, like in between that range.
Is there a particular reason for those numbers?
Yes,
Why?
because when most girls are from what I understand and my experience, most girls under 21 haven't had anything serious. Like they're still like young, they're still innocent, like they're still like want to party and like do
makes
things that
sense.
Yeah.
they want to be older, right? And once they hit the 21 mark, then they're able to go out. So they start going out, they start having fun, and like usually like when they're like 18 to 21, like they have a boyfriend or they had a high school boyfriend.
That
or
is
something.
so true.
So they're like stuck with them for a while until they hit 21, and then they're able to go out and they're able to get more attention. So then they usually get in a relationship around like the 21 to 24 mark, and then they break up at the 24 mark, and then they have like a hoe phase
Oh.
between 24.
Everybody has a whole face.
Everybody has a whole face,
So
and if you haven't had a whole face, you're lying.
I didn't have a whole face. But
You're lying.
She had a 6-year dry spell. But like it, you know, in most cases, like after 24, between 24 to 28, then they're like in their phase. So like they're having their fun. They're having, you know, I'm not trying to shame anybody,
right.
but I'm just saying like
No,
like
that's true.
they have their experience, like
Yeah.
they have their time.
Nothing
So
wrong with that.
so then at 28, then they're like, okay, I need to be serious. And I've had better conversations with women that were like 28 and above.
And just for the record, Gabriel likes las señoras.
He really does have a thing for señoras and señoras that are able to
You
carry
see,
a
look at his
conversation.
face.
Yeah, he's getting red.
I do like las señoras. Like I do like older women. Like I enjoy it. I don't know.
Matured, cuidadas.
Cuidada.
That's a
Please.
jar. That's gotta be a jar.
That's a
That's
jar.
gotta be a jar. But yeah, I mean I do like older women, but yeah. So I understand where she's saying like it's a weird number, but
Like the 48.
but
Yeah.
28
Yeah.
is like the cat. I feel like at 48 their knees start breaking after that. So that's probably
Dang.
that's probably why.
Watch all the 50-year-olds like log in like, oh no.
They don't even know how to log in. Like,
Oh my god, you're
You'd be
horrible.
surprised.
I
Yeah,
know.
some of this older folks do know how to do that.
let me read another one of these questions
Let's
here.
read one more.
26 to 30. So there's this person's age range is 26 to 30. So, okay, so how did you hear about our podcast? No response. Which topics would you like us to cover in future episodes? Stay-at-home mom putting their life aside so husband can work and provide. So, I'm obviously not a stay-at-home mom.
I don't think none of us are, but would I consider being a stay-at-home mom whenever I have kids? I don't know. I feel like growing up, my mom was a stay-at-home. And I'm not even gonna lie. Growing up, that was sort of like the mentality that I had. I was like, well, I'm gonna grow up and follow the same steps, get married, have kids, stay at home. But obviously, once I got older, I was like, no, I like being independent. I don't want to depend on a guy. I want to be able to have my own backup plans, etc. So, would I consider it maybe just for the first couple of months while the baby it's still, small, newborn. But I don't know, maybe have a remote job, completely be a stay-at-home mom. I don't think so.
I've actually tried being a stay-at-home mom. I did it for like 6 months. And I was just like, whatever. Like, they pissed me off on my other job. And I was like, screw y'all. Like, I'm leaving. I was like, whatever. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. Cool. But I feel like it's stressful. Like, and a lot of people are like, oh, stay-at-home moms don't do anything. I feel like they do more, so honestly, it's not my preference. I would not be a stay-at-home mom personally, just because I'm always on the go. I get bored quick.
Yeah.
So kudos to the moms that do everything, but honestly, I feel like having a job has really like helped out my mental wellness too, because I couldn't picture. I love my kids, but I couldn't be with my kids 24/7.
No, but you know what? I have my sister-in-law. She's a stay-at-home mom. Stay-at-home mom. And we were having this conversation, and she was telling me how she wants to start working.
Yeah.
Being at home is strainful. She says that she loves her kids, but it is stressful. And not only that, it's also affecting her, like, not socializing with people. So she feels like she doesn't have, like, she's not able to, well, not exactly like knowing how to communicate with people, but not, interacting exactly with like strangers and stuff like that. So
I think my thoughts on stay-at-home mom, like, I personally had my mom worked like 2-3 jobs to provide for us, because like my dad wasn't around, like he just wasn't there. So I love me a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. I want a woman who can do on her own. And we can get into this big topic about like how so many women want like a man to pay all their bills right now. Like, it's super huge. We could probably set up something else to talk about that, but like for me and my thoughts, I feel like what you said, where it's draining because you're not interacting with anybody. Right. Like, you're not like, I've actually kind of talked to a stay-at-home mom before, in a way.
Otra señora.
But she's expressed to me that she was very sad, very depressed.
Yeah.
Actually 2 stay-at-home moms. So
También
the first one,
cuidadas.
she was like, like I'm at home all the time, like I'm like not happy, and you can tell that she was just not, she didn't like it.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks. And then the other one was that disgusting one that would like send me pictures.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, like,
yeah.
But see, like, that's why I wouldn't want to stay at home mom, because she's over here DMing guys and sending like half nudes to like,
and she's married.
she's
Yeah.
married with her kids. Like, bro, like
That's she has too much time in her hands.
she has way too much. Like, give me that single.
Well,
I
give me that
mean,
single woman.
I don't know. I feel like maybe it plays in 2 different, like,
Yeah.
there's different like scenarios, I guess, on staying at home. Like, if you don't have to work, there's nothing wrong, because there's a lot of women that are okay with doing that. But
Yeah,
personally, I don't know. I think I'll go crazy too.
Yeah, I tried it for 6 months. Honestly, it wasn't for me. I think I have more stability now than when I was a stay-at-home mom. because I really was. I mean, my mornings was just like wake up, take the kids to school. I had nothing to do while they were in school.
Yeah.
Ponte a limpiar.
Ah, ¿verdad? Pues cuando no hay que limpiar, like me iba al gym, you know, me iba al gym. Yeah, and that was literally just the routine every single day, every
Yeah.
single day. And it got repetitive, it got boring, and I was just like, no.
I mean, imagine a job. I get bored after like maybe like I think max 2 years doing the same thing. It's like so repetitive.
It's repetitive.
And I'm like, fuck, I can't do this no more.
I think yeah, that's true. That's
You
true.
know?
And then I remember having this conversation with someone and we were talking about how this one person that we both knew, they wanted a man to pay all their bills and be a stay-at-home mom, and she would just like, you know, just be at home. Like she wanted a man to pay for her bills so she didn't have to work. That's cool and everything, but are you going to cater to your man? And this was a type of woman who didn't seem that she would wake up at 4 a.m. to pack lunch for her
That's
man. She wouldn't clean the
wild.
house. Like, you know, like this
Yeah.
that's her energy came off as that way.
Yeah.
Am I saying that she's that way? I don't know. But
Right.
but she just basically wanted someone to just pay her
Mantenida.
bills. Just pay her bills and she could do whatever she wanted and spend all his money.
That's I don't think
Why
I
are
could do
you're
that.
making that face because you want the same thing.
No, I don't think I could do that. I feel like
I
if I'm gonna
couldn't do
stay,
that,
yeah, if I'm gonna
yeah.
stay at home, I am gonna, you know, look out after my man. I'm gonna
At least
cook
have
for
the house
him.
clean.
Yeah, have the house
Yeah.
clean and yes, of course, plancharle todo, everything. But
Como dice el meme, dice, girls over here wearing a $2 Shein dress expecting a high quality man.
Right.
Like that lady
Man.
from, what is it? The one that went viral because they took her to, what was it?
Oh, the
Cheesecake
the
Factory.
Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
Jesus.
girl, that shirt's from
Girl.
Shein.
See, I feel like women like that need to be humbled because
Yeah.
I feel like that's its own podcast in itself because that's something we can get really deep into. So
yes,
we should.
next part
Yeah,
two
the
for
part
sure,
two.
for sure, for
So
sure.
okay, so it says, how often do you listen to podcasts daily? Probably because you're a stay-at-home mom.
You're stupid.
How likely are you to recommend our podcast to a friend? 10 out of 10. Probably
Thank you.
Probably not after today. After me roasting these people. Jesus. I'm not sorry. Do you prefer longer or shorter episodes? Longer. So the consensus
Okay,
is
it's
longer.
Longer. We're
That's
aiming
right.
towards longer. Okay.
How do you feel about unfiltered conversations on the podcast? 10 out of 10. See.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't be mad when you hear this question. Would you be interested in being a guest on our podcast? No, girl, you got nothing else to do.
You know, it's okay. A lot of people, I've asked a few people to be on the podcast and they just don't feel comfortable. So,
It's okay.
Yeah.
They'll probably want to come on when they see the numbers like pump up a lot more. So
yeah.
what country are you from? United States. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us? No, but we appreciate your cooperation with this.
Yeah.
Does this help you? Like,
Yes, it does. Thank you so much for everyone that took the time to, you know,
Reply.
complete this.
there was
Yes.
more by the way, but we just, decided to pick a few and kind of just go with those, just like an average, more or
Right.
less. So
And it
'cause-
gave us like an idea, you know, like what our next episode is going to be about because there's so much that we need to discuss that obviously we didn't cover on this episode, but there's only so much we could do and cover on
yeah,
this episode.
I think your podcast right now is geared towards like women, which is fine, right? Because there's not a lot of like, I personally don't see on my feed. I don't know if there is, but there is like 2 or 3 big podcasts that are for women, but like I think like overall like y'all got a lot to say, so y'all should probably pump these numbers up. So share with your
Hey.
friend.
Yeah, we talked about sex.
We talked about
Intimacy.
I feel like that was a jar.
No,
That intimacy sounded gross.
wasn't.
That sounded gross. But yeah, I think there's a lot that we talk about, we share, because we were talking before the podcast,
Right.
And it's still like we still had a lot to say, and we
Yes.
still have a lot to say, but unfortunately, like we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah.
So, I thank you for inviting us. This is
I was just gonna say
so
that.
Thanks
I
for
wanted-
having us.
But before we go, it is overthinking. So, Gabriel, is there something quickly that you want to share with everyone that, I don't know, maybe you've had an overthinking experience in the past or you currently have?
I overthink like all the women that I like try to be involved with, right? Because I'm always coming to y'all and I'm like, well, what if she doesn't like this? Like, what if this? And what if I don't what if I DM her and she doesn't DM me back? But remember, like, I stopped overthinking one time and I DM'd the girl.
Right.
And I went on a date with her, like, right away. And I didn't think I was ever going to get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I overthink, like, my relationships and, like, the girls that I'm dating. I think too much about it. And sometimes I just need to shut the fuck up and just go
And
with
just
it.
fucking go with the flow. Yeah, I agree.
What about
What about, well,
what about-
yeah, what about Hazel? Because I have a lot.
I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, like you, I'm an overthinker. I overthink everything. Like, what am I going to eat for breakfast? What am I eating for lunch? You know, everything for me, it's like a big decision. And, you know, like Jessica gave me the idea to flip a coin. So
Oh my God, yes.
it's
it
like,
helps.
should I eat eggs or should I eat, you know, like beans or with platanito frito? Like, and then I'm like, okay, let me like,
Please
Like
don't
flip
eat
a
that
coin
at
if
work.
it lands
flip
on
a
this.
coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but just like one of the main ones, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, you know, like I feel like you're mid 20s, late 20s, almost 30s. It's like a very difficult stage because sometimes you're just so used to routine. It's kind of hard to break out of it. And, you know, I'm in that point of my life where I'm like, what do I want to do career wise? And, you know, I'm just trying to figure out what the next move for me is. I don't want to continue to work a 9 to 5 and fulfill someone else's dream. I want to fulfill my dream. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm building towards that, and I'm overthinking, but you know.
Yeah, overthinking could be dangerous.
Yeah.
It could be really, really dangerous. But I think I shared a lot of my freaking overthinking. Overthinking what? I was going to say scenarios, but that's not overthinking phases that I've had. But
She would like overthink like how the podcast would go.
yeah,
And then like if you notice like you're getting a lot of positive
feedback.
that I told you, like
Yeah.
just start and it'll come. Like it'll happen. Like
You sound just like Caesar, my fiance. Honestly, it's like
I've
you guys
said
are
a lot
so
of I've said a lot of things that he would say.
yes,
like, all
and
the
it's
time.
and you know what? It's like I appreciate that because it's like that shit is real, you know. And it's like I get in my head a lot, and then it's like I start feeling negative, and that's the reason why I hadn't like had any recent episodes because it's like I was overthinking. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna ask? Who am I gonna have?
Just
you
do
know,
it, girl.
I feel like in a way I was relying on my younger sister. If I'm being honest, I'm like, hey, you want to come do a podcast? Because I was freaking out on doing one by myself, and then it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm like, screw that. I'm just gonna stay consistent, keep recording, and
I told you, like, just
Yeah.
you have to do some by yourself at some point.
yeah,
So.
which I did, but it was audio. But that's another story.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of Gabriel's too, it's like if you're waiting on someone like him, if he waits on his friends to travel with him, he's really not going to go anywhere. It's kind of
Exactly.
same thing.
That's exactly what happened. I'm like, you know what? I gave up, and then I just like, started recording again. So
Well, I wanted to be an OG, but you know, she picked her family over.
shut
friends, so
up.
she values
We've been
family over
planning this
friends.
for so long.
We have been planning
Yeah,
this,
w-
but we're gonna have another part. Like we're gonna have part 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
part
we have
two.
to. There's no way.
There's
but,
like so much we have to say and
Yeah.
discuss.
yeah.
but
and
thank
I think,
you.
And then I would just like to say, like, you should probably have another man on here at some point. Maybe your man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody can see that y'all kind of do look alike.
Shut up.
Yeah,
We do not look
yes,
alike.
y'all like have similar. I feel like your hair, because he has like black, thick hair. Like
Next time, I'm
yours.
gonna have blonde hair. Next time, like,
Like,
we need a
Ew.
no. I
Just think about it. Everybody knows this is true. Everybody like that's been with their partner for a long, not necessarily a long time, but yeah,
a long
He
time they
needs
start
to-
looking alike.
Yeah, they start
Oh my
looking
God.
alike.
No. But I am gonna have him. I'm gonna that is my goal to have more, you know, because it's like I don't just want to attract like the female audience. I also want to have like
Y'all
you
should
know,
have like a couples thing.
yeah, we do. That is coming soon.
That's cringy.
That is not.
That is
That
not
is not
cringy.
cringy.
That's cringy.
You're just a Grinch. Like you just don't love.
Yeah, he is.
I do
the
love
Grinch.
love. I just
You like
don't have it.
sex.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm gonna go blow up her bathroom. So.
Stop. You guys.
She has a very nice,
nice
bathroom.
bathroom. It's
Honestly, like it's one of like the top bathrooms that I've been
It's
in.
a very nice bathroom.
It's
This
a nice
We should probably do a
bathroom.
podcast in the bathroom next.
Oh my God, we
should.
We really.
I was
should.
so mesmerized when I went in there. I was like, oh my God.
Oh,
Like
thank
I would
you.
actually sit on the toilet and I always float.
I'll bring the lights.
Everywhere I go, I
Oh.
float on the toilet. I never even sit in my own toilet because it's like, I don't know, it's like a mental thing.
Yeah.
I would consider sitting on her toilet.
I would
That's how pretty it is.
She was like floating that shit earlier.
I don't sit in toilets either.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, that's another conversation. But thank you guys. Thank you so much, Gabriel and Hazel, for
Yes,
making
of
time.
course.
Truly appreciate it. This was really fun, honestly.
Yes.
And I cannot wait for the next episode.
For
So now we're
sure.
gonna have dinner and comer
Yes.
some
We're
sopes.
gonna go talk
Stop.
about
That's a
food.
freaking jar.
That's-
Did you? Yeah. Now she just like saying sopes for no.
Sope. Sex.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night or day or have a good day.
Work out.
Have a good week. Yeah. Bye.
How do I turn this off?